Good morning! So in the last couple of videos I've been working away trying to build this shed. So in the first video I built a nice sturdy base, and in the second video I put some walls on it. In this video I'm hoping to get the roof on, get it watertight and possibly even finished. So let's see how we can get on. Right, well the first thing I need is a number of A-frames of the roof. So I've been working away in my garage over the last few evenings trying to get them built. So there's a number of complicated angles to work out for the first one, but once you've got the first one built it's quite easy to copy it and do it for the rest of them all exactly the same. So I've built 9 of them in total. Some of them I've added plywood to strengthen them. Those ones are going inside the shed. There's a couple that I haven't added plywood to and they're going external to the shed. I will have to add some additional support to them, but I'm hoping they should be strong enough for me to get the roof on and get the shed watertight, then I can add that additional support at a later date. So with all the A-frames built, I've managed to battle them all the way up here to the shed. So that was quite a long journey, up the staircase, up through the garden, up through the stile, all the way across the field. But I've managed to get them all up here. So the next step is to get these up on the roof. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do that because it is quite tall, so I'm thinking I'm going to have to go and get a ladder. But yeah, let's get these in place. Right, well I'd like to say it's going well, but it's been 2 hours since I last turned the camera on. I've spent the last 2 hours going through everything, making sure everything's right, because loads of bits haven't fitted properly, they're just not quite lined up. So I've gone through, cutting a couple of millimetres off here and there, everywhere. I think every single piece of wood on that roof has had to be cut at some point. But that is all now correct, square, in place, screwed down, so you go, right, let's put the roofing felt on. But no, I've got an overhang at the front and the back, so that's what I'm dealing with now. Unfortunately, I've lost my lovely blue sky and sunshine, and I'm concerned that it's going to rain tonight, so I'm hoping to get the roofing felt on before it rains, because I don't know how waterproof that OSB is. So, right, let's carry on. Right, well it's another hour later and I've managed to get the overhangs finished at last. So, next step is to get some roofing felt on here. I'm hoping I'm not going to run out of daylight, and I'm hoping it's not going to get wet. I've got an hour and a half of daylight left, so let's get this watertight. So the roof has pretty much summed up how this entire build feels like it's gone so far. So I brought a 10-metre roll of roofing felt. I got it cheap because the end of it was damaged. So I cut that little section off, but that's not a problem. The shed is 3 metres long, so that's 3 lots of 3 is 9 metres, plus a little bit at either end for the overhang. So that should have worked out perfectly. Well, the problem is, as I was putting this piece on for the ridge here, at the very end over here, it tore. Just there, right on the ridge. So I've shifted this piece up, so it's now got that much overhang, then the tear. Problem is, I've got to the other end of the roll, and I'm now short. So I'm not quite sure what to do. The main thing is, the shed is watertight for the evening. I'm thinking I'm going to turn the camera off, think about this overnight, and then decide what I'm going to do in the morning. Yeah, so see you in a bit. Right, well it's next day and I've given the roof some thought. I did go through and nail it down properly last night, and I'm pleased I did because the weather has been horrendous overnight. But basically my thought about the roof is it's the ridge that needs reinforcing. That is where the crack is. The rest of the roof is pretty good, so I need some sort of ridge cap. I've had a quick look. I can't see anywhere locally that stocks them. I'll have to go out hunting, but it's Sunday today, so everywhere's going to be shut anyway. So I'm thinking I can carry on and still do some of the trim. I do need to put some gutters on here because I had mud splashing up from the roof there. But before I do that, I need to get the trim up in there done. But before I do that, I'm going to do the most important thing, and that is a floor. So let's get the floor down. So there we have it, the long-awaited floor. Now I would have loved to have done this earlier, but obviously this is a plywood floor, and without the roof I don't know how waterproof it would have been. It'll be fine for the odd damp footprint on it, but I think being out in all weathers it would have probably deteriorated by now. But yeah, now I've got a roof, I've got a nice level floor. I would screw it in place, but I'm not going to do that just yet because I'm sure I'm going to need to lift it for some reason, but I can do that at a later date. It's fully supported on the edge and it can't go anywhere, so I'm not going to fall through it. But yeah, I'm thinking next thing to do is probably close these 2 gaps up at either end, just to try and stop the wind blowing through here. So yeah, I've got some bits and pieces, so let's get on with that. So that's the end of the roof supported, so the final thing I need now is a door. Well, it's not been entirely straightforward getting to this point, but I can finally say that the shed is finished, although I use that term incredibly loosely because there's still quite a bit more that I do want to do to it. But my main aim has been to get the shed installed and weather tight and usable, and that is what I've got. The roof has been my main concern, and I'm still not 100% happy with it. Now, the tear on the ridge, that was concerning me a lot, but I have put some flashing tape all the way along, so that will stop the tear from getting any worse, and it will make sure no water will get in through the top. So it will be weatherproof for the next couple of years. However, I'm not happy with that roofing felt. I don't know if it's because I've used a cheap quality roofing felt or if it's just because the roofing felt wasn't quite warm enough. I did have it inside before I installed it, but I think it might have just got a little bit cold having it outside before I got around to putting it on the roof. So yeah, I might look at doing a different roofing system. I might look at better quality roofing felt, or I'm not quite sure, but I can leave that till the spring when it's a lot warmer. For now, it's going to be dry. Now the gutters, I've only put the gutters on the side. I haven't put any downspouts on them. I do still need to do that, but before I do that, I want to paint it. And I can't paint it when it's wet, and it keeps raining. It's currently raining now, so yeah. But the shed itself is finished and solid. I do still need to do some stuff on the inside because I want to put some lights and sockets in there just to make it a little bit nicer. So I might still do that in a future video. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do because, like I say, it does keep raining and everything is incredibly wet. So digging out that is also going to be incredibly wet. So yeah, I'm stuck. But for now, I'm going to end this video here. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm not sure what I'm going to do next, so make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss out. And I shall see you later.